Welcome in, take a seat, grab a snack, stay a while, survive, remain on the grind, dodging hooks with a smile, looping killers, breaking ankles, gotta keep them on their toes. But if it's Ghostface in the lobby, man, I'm about to throw. We stay positive, we stay strong, even when the matches go all wrong. Wholesome vibes never fake, but if you snug, that's a mistake. We sweat for the hatch, we fight till the end, side by side with my Twitch chat friends. No salt, just love, keep the toxic away. GG's in the chat, that's how we play. Flashlight saves, juking hard, we ain't going down fast. If you camping out my hook, better hope I don't last. Throwing pallets, dropping perks, dead hard when I gotta. But if Ghostface peeks around, yo, I'm screaming for my mama. We stay positive, we stay strong, even when the matches go all wrong. Wholesome vibes never fake, but if you slug, that's a mistake. We sweat for the hatch, we fight till the end, side by side with my Twitch chat friends. No salt, just love, keep the toxic away. GG's in the chat, that's how we play. Hatch luck, one more gen, don't give up. Flashy saves, no, we don't stop. Ghostface, nah, get blocked. Let's sweat for the hatch, we loop all night. Bring your best, we'll put up a fight. Safe space, good vibes, come and see. This is the place where you wanna be. Alright, chat, GG's, that was a rough one. Ghostface again? Nah, I'm done. Someone queue up the next match before I lose my mind. Welcome in, take a seat, grab a snack, stay a while, survive, remain on the grind, dodging hooks with a smile, looping killers, breaking ankles, gotta keep them on their toes. But if it's Ghostface in the lobby, man, I'm about to throw. We stay positive, we stay strong, even when the matches go all wrong. Wholesome vibes never fake, but if you snug, that's a mistake. We sweat for the hatch, we fight till the end, side by side with my Twitch chat friends. No salt, just love, keep the toxic away. GG's in the chat, that's how we play. Flashlight saves, juking hard, we ain't going down fast. If you camping out my hook, better hope I don't last. Throwing pallets, dropping perks, dead hard when I gotta. But if Ghostface peeks around, yo, I'm screaming for my mama. We stay positive, we stay strong, even when the matches go all wrong. Wholesome vibes never fake, but if you slug, that's a mistake. We sweat for the hatch, we fight till the end, side by side with my Twitch chat friends. No salt, just love, keep the toxic away. GG's in the chat, that's how we play. Hatch luck, one more gen, don't give up. Flashy saves, no, we don't stop. Ghostface, nah, get blocked. Let's sweat for the hatch, we loop all night. Bring your best, we'll put up a fight. Safe space, good vibes, come and see. This is the place where you wanna be. Alright, chat, GG's, that was a rough one. Ghostface again? Nah, I'm done. Someone queue up the next match before I lose my mind.
Hello, gamers. Welcome in. Happy Monday. Sorry, guys. Work stress. Thank you all for coming. I know I'm late. I was gonna go live before 2:30, and then 15 minutes ago I looked at my clock and I'm like, why is it 10 minutes to 3? So there. No audio? I don't know why that is. I did change I did change something in the volume because I was looking at my VOD. Ah, maybe that's central. Do you know how sometimes Lee, welcome in. Thank you so much for the dancing Lenny hamsters. Yeah, I know, Dahlia. I hear you. I saw you. So I was watching my VOD. I was looking for a clip, and then I realized that one of my alerts was so loud that you couldn't hear me talk over it. So I ended up changing the volume for that. But sometimes it's not this one. Channel points. Sometimes it's individual volume. And sometimes it's... No, I don't know why it didn't work. It wasn't the volume for this. Unlucky. Sorry, Dahlia. I don't know why it didn't work. We're gonna have to figure it out. We're allowed to be late. Thank you, Mina. It's the combination of the two jobs. Right now I have 2 jobs, office jobs with streaming. That's the problem, especially with the event. Next week's gonna be miserable, because I'm running an event, right? I'm like the head event manager for an event next week. It's gonna be outrageous. But then we'll be back, and then it's Blood Moon. We just do Blood Moon, Blood Moon, Blood Moon. So that's the plan. Mina, congratulations on getting first. Let's go. Yay. You did it. After the 2 failed attempts last week. I'm proud of you, Mina. Let's go. Glenny, congratulations on getting second. And Mina with the 20 stream streak. I love to see it. Thank you so much. Dahlia, enjoy Daily Doggo treat. Thank you for the 40 treats. Hello. Hi, Just. Lurky. Thank you so much for the lurk. I hope you're well. I hope your killer stream was fun this weekend. You follow Just on TikTok? That's great. Dutchies gotta support each other. We stick together. Mina, enjoy Daily Doggo treat. 37 treats. Glenny with the 40 treats. Let's go. Thank you so much. Jill, enjoy Daily Doggo treat. 51 treats. Hello, gamer. Time flies when stuff gets chaotic. Yeah, that definitely happened. Hi, Rebel. Welcome in. Happy Monday. Shit happens. Yes. I believe in you. You got this. Thank you, Rebel. Fancy event manager, Micah. Yeah. I've been running after the fact for the longest time. It's gonna clock me this week, but we'll figure it out. I always figure it out, you know. It's fine. I think you said you had a tournament yesterday. I hope it went strong. We came in second place, Lee. We did have tournaments. We spoke, when we spoke, I think you were... I played Rivals with Glenny. That must have been Sunday morning. And yes, I did have a tourney yesterday afternoon. It was such a great experience, guys. The tourney, the Women's World Cup for the Champions of the Fog group. And we had really great games. It was insane how some things went really well that we weren't expecting. Other things went wrong. But we ended up in second place out of our pool of 3. So we were against Finland and UK. The first round was against UK. They had a really tough first day against Finland. They didn't win any of their games. And we had our first set was Onryo. And Christy pulled an amazing game from her hat for her own amazement. Hi Fowler, welcome in. To her own amazement. She played well, like, let's be honest. It was a really strong game from her. I do think that a big part of it was mistakes on the UK Survivor team. I remember watching that game thinking, oh my god, that Survivor's injured. I see her, she has no pellet, and Christy's just running into them, so that's a free down. So we put on an amazing performance in the first killer game, which was then matched by our Survivor game. We only needed to complete 3 gens. That was the win con. That's all we did. We completed 3 gens and then we all died. Christy was like Opera with the downs. But Jill, like the placement of the injured survivors was not great. yeah, that was rough for them. Then the Vecna set took us by complete surprise. Quinny came in and completely rolled our team. I was yelling and screaming in the chat saying, "Oh my god, why am I playing so bad? Why am I playing so bad?" And then realized that Quinny is one of the best Vecna players in Europe, and I'm like, "Oh, okay, yeah, I wasn't ready for that." They they did absolutely wonderful. What a great game from them. We did manage to get a one man out after we'd all died after only completing 2 gens, and then from our side, Nia put down an amazing performance on Vecna as well, getting the 4K, which gave us a 2-0 victory. And then we had to wait for an hour and a half, and then we played Finland, and yeah, Finland was the better team. They had the better, I think. Out of the entire pool, this is my personal opinion, I think Finland had the most balanced team, the strongest survivor team and the strongest killer performance. That's why I think Finland came in first in the group, in our group, and will be advancing to the semis next weekend. I already spoke to Slay. Germany also advanced. They did an amazing job beating Spain and France. And yes, Wicca for Finland, Dahlia. And Team Germany will be facing Team USA, pink or purple. I think pink. I remember, Mina, you were saying, why is the US teams different colors? Because there were 2 US teams. One of the 2 advanced, and they'll be playing Germany. So Finland will be playing either NA or Australia next week as well, for semis and finals. But yeah, it's been such a great experience. Their group really came together. Yeah, I think we put up the best performance that we possibly could. Yeah, it was Pops, like Pops. Yeah, you can go down and you can go down. All you can go down. Yeah, y'all can go down. How was the job interview, Rebel? I hope you had a good talk. It was great to watch. Unreal went so well. Yeah, it was really good. Yeah, I enjoyed watching it as well. I watched it for the longest time. Do we have to go against Vecna 2 in 3 weeks? We don't know. There's not been picks and bans yet. You'd end up getting the job because it turns out the kind of pellet truck I needed to use didn't align with your experience and I couldn't proceed. Still happy I went on the interview. Hey, Rebel, that's good though. The experience is value in itself, and that nobody can take that away from you. So for effort, for putting yourself out there, going for the interview, and that'll be a job, a better fitting one for you around the corner. Well, as long as you had fun, that's all that matters. We did have a lot of fun, Lee. I was a lot less stressed. Then yeah, it's really the fact that I know my way around tournaments, handling my stress better around tournaments, comes with the experience of playing more and more tournaments. It's still rough because I get very disappointed in myself, but it was a lot better than when I played with Civil War with Loftus for the first time. So you have a million things to do out of work, so I'll be lurking. Thank you, Mina. Thank you for hanging out. And good luck with everything. Don't stay up too late, okay? You deserve a break as well. Work will be work. Taze, welcome in. Enjoy your daily doggo treat. Thank you for the 43 treats. Thank you, thank you. Slay said she felt bad for Clove because she felt that she did so well and was the only one who played like she had comp experience. That's true, Jill. I was on the phone with Clove yesterday for 2 hours. At the end of the journey, we were catching up, playing some games. We had I love Clove. She's wonderful. We had such great games. We connect really well. We met through the creator program, and we played some pubs, and I think we got most of our games were escape. We weren't even playing for escape, but if you're like chill playing, Jill, you know the feeling. If you're chill playing, games just go better. You know, Jill knows exactly what I'm talking about. I know that he knows. Yeah, Clove, we spoke a lot. We expressed everything we went through, our emotions, our feelings around the tourney. And I think Spain did an amazing performance, but it was a team that only just got together this year. Yeah, it is better, Jill. You know, they played this tournament for the first time, and they were put together as a group. I mean, put together. Obviously, Clove made the team, for the first time. I don't think there was. I mean, I don't like feel feeling sorry. I don't think is the right word. I think they gave it their. I think they gave it their best, but yeah, it's rough to put a team together from scratch when people also are new to the comp experience, you know. But yeah, I was super proud of Clove as well. I was yelling at my PC when she got the flashbang save on the unknown set. I was like, "That's my Clove!" I was so happy for her. That was really beautiful. But yeah, I think we're all happy about the chance that we got to perform in the Women's World Cup. And luckily for me, it's not over yet. I get another chance in the Altruism League Fem World Cup in 3 weeks. Yes. Team Netherlands with a different group of Dutchies will be performing again. We will be playing against Germany, so we're gonna go against Slay and against Spain. I don't know that Clove has decided yet if she'll play, but that is the pool for the Altruism League. So the interview was alright. I didn't end up getting it, but I still appreciate their time. Exactly, Rebel. Exactly. Skill, recognize skill. Yes, that. I mean, Jill, you know the deal. You're very nervous for your first time. Yeah, I advised Christy to arrange something so that we can deal with the nerves beforehand. Let's see if she can pull through to put something together for that. Most importantly, I took the time to go and see it for myself. That's already good on its own. Yes, 100%. Also, I'm planning to go for a career change and try out English teaching. Good, Rebel, good. It's good to explore all your options. And your English is really good, and I think it's really needed in Italy. I feel like not a lot of people are able or have had a chance to learn English. So I definitely think that is a wonderful contribution you can make. Windows updates are taking forever, even though I turned the updates off. Oh, yeah, it does take forever, especially when you want to get to your PC. I like how everyone is so wholesome. I'm not used to that in comp. Yeah, I was walking the dog this morning, Jill, and I was wondering if that is why the gap between men and women in comp is so big. Is that the problem? The not being able to lose a game and just say, you know, yes, we made some mistakes, but the other team just did better, and like cheer for each other for those that are moving on, and be salty about the fact that you didn't get to play, not getting wrecked and laughed at each other stuff. Also, I mean, I definitely laughed at stuff that happened in our scrims where I was like, what are you doing? But I guess it's never a burning down of a person, right? It's just you see something happen, you talk about it afterwards, like you learn. Yeah, I wonder. Did y'all get the biggest DBD streamer in the Netherlands? Yes, 100%. It's on high demands. Wonderful. You're up for it? Good exploring, Rebel. Also, when I'm an English teacher, I'll get to work remotely and get me self-employed. Perfect. I also go, what am I doing during scrims? Yeah, but you've come a long way, Dahlia, and I could tell, and I've said this to you when we were playing with Lake on Saturday morning. You are learning a lot very fast. Do we know? Oh, I was looking at my phone because I was trying to decide. Did everyone end up filling out the scrims form? Looks like Wednesday is the best option, if we even can get enough people. Dahlia, did you see? I did, but I don't think everyone else did. You? Oh, you can't Wednesday. I see it. Yeah, I see Alize, me, you, and Stinty reacted. Well, if Christy can reply, then maybe we can get two scrims in. And then we may have to look for external killers to make it happen. You can't Wednesday. Bewonersoverleg, I see. Yeah, scrim scheduling is never not a problem. I don't know. It's always complicated. Let's get to gaming. Don't look at my Jonah. What am I wearing, y'all? You can ask your friend to play killer with us, but he doesn't have any comp experience, so I don't know if that's helpful. It's Carl, by the way. The killer is Carl. I was gonna say, do you mean Carl? I think we're gonna pause on that, Dahlia, for a second. If we're gonna get scrims in, if it's with only 3 weeks left and with so few people available on the dates, I think the scrims should be very tailored towards tourney experience, which would ideally be a high pressure killer game from an experienced killer. I know it's shitty. You know the experience when we had with Chucky and Joyer on was it Thursday or Saturday? It was rough, but that is the competition that you'll be facing during a comps match. So we can go against someone that is happy to play killer but doesn't know what we're doing, and we get a 4-man outies game, but it doesn't prepare us for an actual tourney game. Sounds good. Loving Life has offered to do some one for my practice with me, so I'll take him up on that. Yes, do it. Only is really is very good at the game. He'll be able to play very well in 1v1s. It was Thursday and it was rough indeed. Yeah, those things happen. Those things happen. Do we remember who I was playing last week? When we were... This is not the screen that I needed. Hold on. When we were doing head-on, I was playing Nancy. Okay, let me look at my build for Nancy. Okay, this is gonna go away. There. Solved. I was playing Nancy. Head-on, quick and quiet, last stand, and DS. You're enjoying Ghoul too much? I'm glad though, because that is so cool. Cool? I just realized it. That's good, Jill. I'm actually having fun as killer. That's perfect. That is, that's so big. The fact that there's more than 3 presets now is huge. Also, hi, Mr. Fox. It is huge. It's very nice to have that. Jill, I'm glad. I'm glad it's working out and that it's a good experience. I don't know how this is gonna work. We're gonna roll with it. Maybe Iron will. I want to do last stand saves, guys. I had so much fun. I only made 2 last week. But it's just, it's so good. Rebel, enjoy your daily doggo treat. Thank you for the 4 treats. You played 3 hours yesterday. 3 hours? Some people roll me, but I still win your games easily. Yeah, I mean, there's juicers out there, right? That doesn't say anything about your ability to play killer. Granny, thank you for the lurk. Yeah, I hope your stream is going well. You had a 4K5 in a game where I 7 hooked everyone before I killed your first survivor, so it's only no tunneling, just played fair. Hey, sounds like fair game to me. This outfit's really something, yeah. It was from me and Clove playing last night. She was dressed as a unicorn, guys. She had a she had a Twitch shirt on, a purple pants, and the party hat, the celebration party hat for Claudette. It was funny. It was a magical unicorn. Pink Corey, thank you for the lurk. I appreciate you stopping by. Oh, somebody's gonna go next. Hold on. They brought some luck. You get to name the presets? Yeah, it's great. I like to name my presets in Hey shit, Clove just went live. What the fuck? Alright, we give her a shout out in a second. Oh, Henry. Wonderful.
I am inevitable.
You need more cakes during next anniversary? Dahlia, anniversary is your time to plan. And why are we all on a clock? We don't need everybody on a clock. If one person's on a clock, 2 people can do gens. Guys, what is this? Dahlia, anniversary is the time to play. Like, clear your calendar, block your week. It's 3 weeks long. I remember 2 years ago, I called in sick from work for a week to play anniversary back to back. You need your cakes for the rest of the year. Help your friends get points. Pain res. Watch. It's no pain res. Bro, why is he walking across the map? Oh, plaything. He's gonna go straight back to hook, yeah? No, all my predictions are just wrong. Everything's just wrong. Yeah, that's what you need to focus on. I logged in last year. The anniversary was a week extra because of some outage, I think. I got 7,662 cakes or something. I still have more than 1,000 left on Jonah, and we're already almost at new anniversary, you know? You have to admit, you're a sucker for cute survivor. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, Jill. I want the pork and I feel bad. Give him a hatch. There's nothing wrong with a killer giving hatch, I don't feel. There's nothing wrong with that. Yeah, these girls are on the clock again. I'm doing a gin. Like, I don't even care. I have no clue how many hours you have on Killer. I'm gonna hang out with friends of mine soon, but my social battery is so cooked. Ah, a lobby full of silly billies. Just go go and chill, Dahlia. Could be fun. It's perfect. I'm not on vacation this time. That is perfect. Rebel, thank you for the lurk. It's so stupid I can't kill those cuties like running against the wall. I mean, it's more fun anyway, and it says a lot about you. And your personality, right? As a person. That you're able to do that. And understand that it's just a game. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. You still have PTSD from your days when you brought nothing but black salt statues and that one perk that increased the unhooked chances for everyone because people were trying to kill themselves on first hook at super common raid when I was in Tokyo. Yeah, slippery meat. I think you even named myself. Please don't give up during those days. Yeah, I remember those days. I remember those days. I think it's getting better. I don't know how the experience is for killer players. Also, maybe I'm not entirely sure about if it's less of a problem or not. Look at them. Look at them running. Look at them running for a clock, guys. I'm always swiffing, right, with you guys, so maybe I don't see it as much. I just don't get to see the problem. Cat, welcome in. Happy Monday. Thank you for the Daddy Doggo treats. Enjoy. Bro's coming back. Is he? Oh. Bro, I thought he was on the other side. I'm spreading some ghoul love too, because he's so hated. This is true. You had 2 TTVs. I wrecked everyone in 5 gens and Deathhook, and then I felt bad and just started swinging around the map. That's good. Nah, that's good. It's quality. What the fuck? Bro, Clove just spawned in a tree. There's bug spawns, guys. I'm watching Clove. She spawned in a tree. In a tree. Upstairs in a tree. She can't move. Oh, there she goes. That's crazy. I'm great, Kat. I'm great. Thank you so much for asking. We had a really exciting weekend with the Women's World Cup tourney. We got 2nd place, which was a wonderful result for us. We were only 4 people in Team Netherlands. And yeah, it was a really great experience. Testing. Wi-Fi works again? Okay, that's good. That's good. What is this killer? What are their mechanics? Ah, this is Henry, Mr. Fox. That is, it's from Stranger Things. So he's underground now. He has to activate his power, and when we go to the... Oh, there we go. Look. It's him. I was out of reach for that. So if he touches me with his power when we're not in the red world, the one that I just went down in, it just gives me a stack. It doesn't damage me. But when we are in the red world, he can damage me with both M1 and that the underground power thing. And the clocks. You saw that we were on clocks. They make the... Come back. They help slow down the amount of time that he has to use his power, basically. I have Plaything, I don't know if he's here. I guess not. That's it in a nutshell, Mr. Fox. Everyone was so happy with me, but I'm on a non-mode. I mean, there's nothing wrong with being a hero with a mask, Jill. And then I said, not every ghoul is mean. I have to be the ghoul. Yes. Yeah, I got a picture from Volts. Volts Sealy spawned on top of a fucking building somewhere. Team NL was so small in comparison to all the other teams. Yo, UK was 8, Germany was 7. Wait, are we slugging? Oh. Bitch. Can he hit me in the locker? Probably, right? He knows everything. And we are a small country. He can't? Okay. We're doing well. Yeah. I mean, he's not very strong, I have to tell you. I mean, he knew about the head-on, that's fine. Speed out limit, the timer rebel, yes. There we go, the clock at the top. The power is almost over. Well, that sucks.
I am inevitable.
I'll go back for him, I promise. I promise, I promise.
A brave one.
I don't have Wiglif. Oh. She goes for him. He hooks Megan. Goes back to the unhook. I unhook her. And we walk out. Look, 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 look. Oh. He didn't... Bro, he didn't do it. Bro, he didn't see me for the longest time. Oh, I died. Have to go? Alright, have fun, Dahlia. Thanks for hanging out. I should have waited out the power, but it was more fun that he didn't see me. You woke up this morning with pins and needles in your right arm and it's still not gone? Oh shit, Glenny. I'm sorry to hear that. Okay, there's definitely something going on with the... There's definitely something going on with the alerts. Because there's no dance. Where? This way? Oh, I'm dead again. Or still. I'm just dead. Yeah, there's definitely something going on. Lake, enjoy a daily doggo treat. Thank you for the 53 treats.
Let me end your suffering.
I turned it off, didn't I? I think you can try again. You can't stay. Okay, okay, go work, go work, go work. I don't even think the gate is open. Is it open? Ah, it is now. Maury, Maury, Maury. Right. Get him! Get him, V! Get him! Good morning, how are you? Oh, sorry, Mr. Fox. I hadn't seen that yet. Okay, I don't want Iron Will. I want Wiglif. Poor Jonah. I know. I know, Glenny. That was very mean. It's brutal. How are you all? I'm good. Oh, these guys worry me. Alright, we're gonna go. They might leave. They might leave, to be honest. Are you solo queue today? No, Jill, you're welcome to hop in. I'd love to play some games with you. If you want to. sad ending, but this 100 ping carry. GG's and good luck there. Yes, it was. Hi, Max. GG, well played. I flopped also in the end. I should have blocked in more, and we could have maybe done better. Yeah, ping is brutal, always and forever. I appreciate you stopping by. GG's. Good luck on your next game, and I hope you'll have good games today. You'll be in lobby? Like now? I leave. Are you on? A ball of yarn? How was I supposed to know that's you? It's you. Are you happy that, Hey, you brought your Twitch shirt! Look at us! Bro. The only thing that I can think that's worse is this pants. But I like it. I'm gonna roll with it. I can join if you're willing to have me. Of course, Mr. Fox. Come play. It's been a long time, but we're happy to have you. I know you know your shit. It's fine. Come game. You did play some warm-up yesterday? I forgot your keybinds for the people. That's a lot to handle. I wear the shirt. What you want about? Yeah, but with a purple shirt combined and a swimming cap, I don't think it's the right thing to wear. That's all I'm saying. Ah, the ball of yarn for the killers to chase. Okay. I'm glad you're on that PC gaming, Jill. It gives so much flexibility. Join next match. Gotta boot your laptop. Yeah, no rush, no rush. Me and Jill, we're gonna play one. Guys, yesterday in hockey, I don't know if you can see it. I got injured. Do you see how purple my thumb is? Oh, you can see it even better on the light. Do you see this? Hurts like a motherfucker. You've not gamed all day because of your arm? Is there anything, any indication? Is it, oh, 5-year cake? Of what it could be, Glenny. Can you see someone about it? Or are you just gonna wait to see if it gets better? I hope everything is okay. I can imagine that you've not gamed. You've been itching again on arrivals? Nah, you're on your arrivals grind again, Glenny. I got my Wanda skin, by the way. Thanks to Camloso. No thanks to Glenny. So there was drops for Marvel Rivals, right? If it doesn't improve in 2 to 3 days, you go to the doctor. That's pretty, a big window. I hope it gets better even by the end of the day. Yeah, there was drops for Marvel Rivals, so you know the deal. You have to watch someone streaming that's the game, you get your drops. Glenny was streaming Marvel Rivals. So I told them they had to go for another 2 hours so I could get my Marvel Rivals screen. And you know what? They said, Glenny said he only had battery in his headset for another hour and a half, so he wasn't gonna do it because he hates me. It's atrocious behavior, actually. I got my Wanda skin though. I put on Camloso. He was on that Marvel Rivals grind. Got my Wanda skin, didn't I? I deserve it, actually. Kinda based from this Glenny fella. No. You're loving Venom? I had a fun time healing you when you were playing Venom, Glenny. The only thing that was the most difficult for me was you overextend too much sometimes, and then I can't heal you. I'm not saying that I know all about all the strategies on Venom, but I was like, yeah, Glenny, I can't heal you there. You know, it's just fun, isn't it, to get in the mix? Overextender, I hardly know her. Fuck. Oh. Did I not have head on yet? I guess it was too soon. I like this dress on Nurse. I have it too. It's from the second Chinese New Year, I think. Oh, my eyelash is fucked. Sorry, Jill, I flopped. Fuck me. Ah, she's on 80 ping. It could have been a ping problem, honestly. I almost said it. I'm gonna have to redo this lash. It's annoying the crap out of me. 18k damage on Groot Convoy. They didn't even make it out of their spawn, so we only did one stage. Holy hell. Let's go, Glenny. I love you on the Groot, though. Killer Adept is hard. Hi, Seely, welcome in. I should get on that, I have to get on that one day. I had pretty good progress on my Killer Adepts when I was still on PlayStation. Man. Oni took you 8 games? Yeah, but Oni is like difficult to play. Not like difficult, but like it's hard. And what value are you gonna get from Blood Echo, man? Pyramid, that took me 1 game? Yeah, I mean it depends, of course, of the people you're gonna be facing and shit. She's tunneling? There's pretty much nothing I can do except run after them. There's literally nothing I can do. Ah, an abandoned issue. I mean, an adept is an adept, no? I have to pick her. Fuck, now I'm upset that I'm injured. She picks, right? Let's stand with an 8. She's gonna check this gen, I bet. Yep. Lucky for you, you did most of mine before cross progression, so it's still, you had lower MMR. Ah, good idea. Nice down. Hey, I think I need like 8 killers. Okay, that's excellent progress. Not looking forward to Singularity? I mean, that is rough. Singularity is rough. Hi, Hub. Welcome in. Happy Monday. How was DBD this weekend? She's gonna hear me, right? Why? Fuck. Okay, I need to change my build. I'm flopping. Nice shirt you have there. Thank you, Hub. I appreciate that. Is she gonna check the other gen? Yes. Okay. Oh shit, Jill's in chase. Blind feels cleaner after hot fixes? Oh, that's good. Oh, I die. Unlucky. Oh, she's not even coming for me. Imagine. I'm actually throwing. Oh my god, such a good attempt! Bro, I was totally hoping that she would get that. I die now, by the way. I fuck it up every time, guys. I'm not good enough. Yes, Hop, you can join. I think we'll be 4. Pellets! Oh, power struggle with an 8, man. Oh, GG. GG. It's not a head-on kind of day. It's not a head-on kind of day. You did it on purpose? I know, Jill. You wasted a lot of time. You had another hook to give. That's huge. Shame you can't wear the real head-on outfit because you can't go shirtless and have TTV shirt on. I know, Sealy. It has to be the Twitch shirt. We're gonna run an ad, gamers. I need to fix my eyelash, and we're gonna get some gamers in here. So, I apologize for the ads, but please bear with. You won't have to miss anything. We'll be right back. Mr. Fox, what's your in-game name these days? I think I only remember you as not if you like ass. If I remember correctly. Hub, are you on? What's the plan, gamers? Okay, I gotta play someone I have with Cake. Nodding aggressively. Aren't we all? Maybe some Jane? I got Cake on Jane. Wig of Last Stand. I think I can go and make a beam save, right? What do you guys think? I think it's possible. Game is loading? Alright. Hub's also coming as well. Good, good, good. Okay, let me fix my eyelash and then we'll be right back. Perfect. Much better. I can see again. Victor, that was funny? How was it funny? Was it funny because you're like, man, I used to hate this killer? And this is why? Oh no, there was something about the speed. It had something to do with the speed that changed. Was it a funny game? So you've seen a new pallet drop perk in action, and now I understand the value. Ah! Is there a specific moment that is like especially powerful? For me, not the survivors, I see. It's insanely good. It makes it so you can throw a pallet 50 and still make it to the next loop. Okay, so I'm gonna need to try that one time. Let me get my gamer tabbed here. Does she have a lurk? Maybe I'll catch her later. Okay. I'm ready. Oh, there's nothing going on in Shack. Legion! I don't mind Legion. Just rotate to a different loop faster. I need to learn about rotating loops altogether. I mean, sometimes it works really well for me. You're still a professional. I see you 99ing that mend heal. Mr. Fox, you've got this. That on Legion, I should try that on one of your builds. Not seen that before. I know, Glenny. They're onto something, probably. This has gotta be huge. Sometimes I see a window close to a tile or pallet. I connect them instead of dropping the pallet. Yes, when I see it, but it has to be like luck. That's what. Oh my god, he's out of power. That's why it's a struggle for me still. Should we skip this gen? I don't know. I'm doing this gen. With the new perk, after dropping the pallet, I can just make the window faster and get double the distance. Okay. Okay, so you guys are keeping me up to date with the latest developments. I can appreciate it. So how about I run into a tree. Oh, she didn't respect nothing. And the ping hit. 128! That was miles away. Ah, and Fury ear button. Okay, very, very, very original. He's got it all. I've got it all. And he has no hooks, but he's got it all. How's the games? It's pretty good, Lee. I'm having a good time. But I love playing DBD. So generally, I'm alright. You clipped it? Let's go, Jill. Fun? Really, Paigey? Welcome in. How are you? How's your trip? I appreciate you stopping by, gamer. Holy hell. You're traveling. Oh, fuck me. Bam Bass as well? Yes, he's got everything. Free drop. Ah, fuck. I was gonna go to that pallet, but then I didn't. Careful! I need to learn how to. Good effort. I need to learn how to emote. Oh my god, the breakout! Gamer, don't die! Guys, good teamwork, good teamwork. I can appreciate it. I need to learn how to emote into pallet, bro. Nah, he's locking in. He's locking in. You got so many prestiges on your Michonne lately? Oh my god, so you're playing more rivals and more DBD? Donnie, that's great. I love that. You're gonna leave her to anniversary, right? Because you gonna want cakes on her. But you can, if you get her P80, you can get. So I did Tap and E3, right? In anniversary last year. You get them P80, you get 40. Yes, you can get 400 cakes. I had 400 on Tap, 400 on Elodie, 400 on E3. You just, we pop all the P100s like bam, 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 bam during anniversary, guys. I'm planning on popping 4 again. But it depends on how far we get with the prestiges during the Blood Rush next week. Starting Thursday, by the way. This whole weekend, gamers, I'm doing extra streams because of the Blood Rush. Jesus, Blood Moon. Open lobbies, bring your cakes. Or whatever offer. Oh my god, Jill, you're on the last second of your fucking mend. One more step and you flop over. Hi Pixel, welcome in. Congrats, thank you for congrats on the 1.4. Thank you, I appreciate that. Where are you running? Thank you. Yeah, I'm super happy. Where is this chase? Ah, they're over at Hub. Oh, I mean, it's only 4. Yeah. Thank you so much for congrats on 1.4k follows on Twitch. I appreciate it. I'm super happy and super grateful that we got to this point. Thanks to all of your support. Fung is your first P100 and my first ever like I love her. You must miss Fung. I was gonna do her P100, but she had such a bad reputation in the day that I stopped working on her. I wonder how her Twitch shirt looks though, because I haven't seen it yet. You're sorry I forgot to call Bam? No, you're fine. Hello, you're in chase for the biggest part of this game. I know you're like typing and gaming at the same time as you always do. You're juicing, by the way. Wait, is my Twitch shirt gonna be on TikTok, Jill? For the wig lift? And then you go again in your chase? You need a break from DBD. Gonna wait until Blood Moon? Good. How are you... We need to go. We need to go, we need to go, we need to go. I know that Hub's at the other gate. GG, Jill. Well played. Amazing. Amazing display of skill. Unbelievable. Can't wait for the speed hacks. Do you think they're gonna accuse you of hacking? No, they're console, right? 4 is a lot. Yeah, but if you get them all P80, Lee, we just pop them like that. Bam, 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 bam. It's gonna go so fast in Anniversary. You could P100 Kate. Cheza and Quan. How long is Blood Moon? 3 weeks. It's 3 weeks. Alright, let me see what we got on Fong, guys. You're just in a hotel. Wait, where did I see your message, Paigey? You were in a hotel back with Rhea. We've called. Oh, we're chilling. She's got kids TV on at the moment. Ireland is very behind with Junior TV. Oh, okay. I did not realize. Okay. Twitch shirts. Woo! These are my favorite pants on her. Ah, this is toxic, isn't it? Everybody's wearing this hair. I think I should bring this hair. Build. I don't even think I have. Oh, I do. I have less stand. I won't be able to run the quant perk on her. Because I won't have it. What's my last perk, guys? Oh, yes. Okay, ready. Let me get Pixel. Enjoy your daily doggo treat. Thank you for the redeem. Enjoy your treats. Jill's gaming for real. That's fair. I was there when she was a poster girl. Yeah. Nah, she had such a bad reputation. I didn't want to continue it. Sable's kind of new thing. Yeah, but with a different reputation though. The Funks were like reputed for their toxicity, right? And Sable is reputed for being a flop. She's bloody forgotten? She is! Nobody remembers Fung. Glenny, do you even still tunnel Fungs? Because of the sake of the Fung. How many P100s do I have? 18, Lee. Exclamation mark P100. I don't know if you already saw. That's the whole... I got the whole list. Funks can at least loop mostly. Yeah, that's it. That's the thing. You got MFT. I said unlucky. Ah, yes. MFT. I remember you said unlucky. I didn't know what you meant. Hi, Aiden. Welcome in. How are you? How have your games been? Pretty good. We've had, I don't know, what, 3 games? I'm chilling. It's just Monday afternoon games. It's so good. It's just so chill. Sorry for the skiller. I think my lack of MMR match made us. They brought the works though, Mr. Fox. Like, they know what they're doing. I think they shouldn't have chased Jill the entire game. My name works. He didn't want to leave the ball of yarn. It did. It did. W Wigliff? Yes. I'm glad I put it back on. I love Wigliff. GG's. GG's. He was bloodlusting, waiting on pallet drop, using power to break it behind me. But that means you have to play M1. And boy, oh boy, do I love an M1 killer when you're a 103 speed. Let's go, Jill. Sable's just bad popular. Fung is toxic popular. I think so. Sable is the one we're all toxic towards. Exactly. That's the right description. Wow, this shirt looks great on Fung in game. Wesker? For me? Where you at? I'm gonna do a gym. You love Fung, but I don't hear bad stuff about her anymore. No, me neither. Sorry. I need to move on. Maybe I should play Fong more, Pagey. Maybe I put some points into her during anniversary. I'm thinking about it. Who did that? I'm just sandbagging everyone, bro. Prepare. Oh shit! This is not good. Professional. Okay. DBD player, by the way. He got robbed. Thank you, whoever gave me this. Eruption? Eruption. Bro, he's coming back. He's crazy. This is where love goes. If you don't pick up your slugs, I will. Eyes on the clips? I'm learning about people that are going for clips because Slay does that, right? I'm learning about it. Yes, we are full lobby at the minute, Aiden. How's your weekend been? I find Ace is mostly the hardest survivor to catch. Ace is very comp, right? Comp players liked Deadman, Switch, Pain, Res, Eruption. Okay. Okay. I see how it... Hello. You need a spray. And Grim. That's the whole build. I think that command is broken, Aiden. Because I know you've been here. I don't know which bot. It said stream elements. Okay, I need to check on stream elements then. Maybe I can fix it. You do that with Wesker a lot? What? I like Wesker. Oh my god, V, you're practically new here. Aiden, enjoy your daily doggo treat. Thank you for the 3 treats. We never watch, we just listen. Oh my god. V, enjoy your daily doggo treat. Thank you for the redeem. Oh. I can't do a gen, guys. We listen and we don't judge. I haven't flopped today yet, I don't think. We're at 5 gens, by the way. All the slowdowns. You can abandon because of the slug. Is this regressing? Yes. Oh. That's a 100% camera thing? I'm still adjusting. Steely, would you mind giving an she's not watching, I don't think, so maybe that's not good. I want to give Clove a shout out. Because she's live right now. Maybe I'll have to do it after this game. It's... The username is with a C. It's Clovely. Clovely. Clovely _. He's got this. There we go. The alerts are working. Lake, welcome back. I fixed the alerts for you. Thank you for the dance. Yes, they are Spanish. That's correct, Celie. Yes, they are playing Quentin. Thank you. Boops! I got hit 3 times in power. No speed, yeah, but it's bugged, right? Yes, thank you, Celie. Perfect. Yes, 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 thank you. You like that, eh? Why would we boop a Wesker? DBD bug? Never. Oh, the DMS from the last hook. Not at a Wesker, you never know. You could be onto something here, V. Oh. Okay. Jen? Wasn't there a Jen here? Yes. Shit. Oh, there's no vault here. Fuck, if it was a vault, I could have gone for last stand. Sorry, Jill. It's the Legion's bigger brother. Oh. It's the Legion's older brother that came for you. Bro, I didn't even hear him pull up. That's fucked. Nice. Oh! I die. GG's. I'm learning, Paigey. Wesker bug is really bad. I have a shirt, I should be able to moonwalk. Shut the fuck up. Don't worry, Jill. Wesker mains will use all their combined 4.5 range, 4.5 and call it attack. Part of a base kit. I remember that. Holy, that discussion. If it wasn't a bug, this wouldn't have happened. I know. Took him an eternity and some bugs to get you. I'm doing wonderfully. I can do better. It's a Wesker. Thank you, Hub. Hi, Hex. Welcome in. Happy Monday. Back with it for the people. Oh my god. Huge. That's Mr. Fox. Oh, pain rest. Second hook. Nice. Cool. Yeah, it's 100% bugged right now. If you get grabbed, like you get no distance or something. What's the bug with Wesker? It has to do with getting grabbed. And making no distance. Yeah, you get no distance. That's what I heard as well. Oh my god, they healed. Second wind. That's huge. Good chase, Mr. Fox. Oh my god. They got humped into a Mori. I don't know why. Hex, thank you for the daily doggo treats. Thank you for the 34 treats. Enjoy, enjoy. Fabio. Oh, he's already here? Fuck, I was kind of hoping I would make this. He knows everything. How is he at the back already? Nah, he's gonna hog tag the fuck out of me. You got... Let's go, 25k points, let's go! Yes, you did 100% decent. We're here while we work, lurk. Thank you, Fabio, thank you. Yeah, so imagine how long I just ran him while also being slow with the infection. Nah, you did great. Fabio, enjoy your daily doggo treat. Thank you for the 11 treats. And the slung. I mean, he's a proud Wesker. He wants his 4k. I can respect it. We go again. Excellent job, Hop. Well, I can't spray. Ding dong, dinner's ready. That's not right. Let's go next. Yes! GG. Kinda miss playing Fang, not gonna lie. Why do I not have all their perks? Which one's the pallet one? It's not this perk. Is it this perk? Oh, I've been using this the whole time already. Wait, what did I take off? Inner. We faced a slugging Billy the other day, but you had your conviction build. Oh my god, I was kind of hoping. I was kind of thinking, I wish I had conviction. Bro, I've been running this perk. I forgot. I just remembered that it showed me Windows and Vaults, but not as oppressively as Windows does. But that's also the one where you drop them faster, bro. I forgot about that. So he thought he won. He went AFK. And you got it. They thought they won and they went AFK. And you got 2 men out. I love that. That's a great story. Imagine. Nah, Vanilla, you're lethal with that conviction build, you. Oh. That's a good play, Mr. Fox. Hi, Sunny. Good morning. Welcome in. Thank you so much for cheering me on in the tournament yesterday. It was so cool watching you watch the games with your community. Good morning. This map. I got clocked on this map yesterday, guys. It was miserable. I had no idea they had a P100 Vecna player main in their team. Like, you're so glad you got a chance to watch it and I didn't miss it. The P100 Vecna as well? Yeah. Yeah, they did things I didn't even know were possible. Okay. Mr. Fox is finding all of the oppression, all of the spices. With this oppression, I'm going to assume that first totem was, what do you call it? Hunter's Lullaby. Because it sounds like skill check dog to me. Is he gonna go for the gen? No. Oh, Merciless Storm. Yeah. That's all the skill checks. Well, I haven't been zapped yet, so I get this one out the way. That's at least 1 gen. Didn't Jill go the other way? No. They got distracted by something. Damn. I need to go to Gallows or something. Holy moonwalks. I'm getting there. I'm getting there, guys. I'm getting there. Oh my god, you guys are on 2 different gens? That's huge. What's your plan for today, Sunny? I think we got all the perks. It was 2 hexes, oppression, and Merciless Storm. I thought we already had Merciless Storm on this gen! We didn't. We do now. The backward skill checks are brutal. There's no... Oh my god, there's no way around it. They are absolutely brutal. Do a workout, wash your hair, and some clips. Perfect planning. Perfect planning. I need to wash my hair. I'll do it tonight. I kind of want to get... I can't. Okay, I may have been a little early on the... on the drop from... Last stand, yo! I mean, I used my last stand, but that was funny. Thank you, Jill. Oh, the dead art! Jill's on fire today. It's gotta be the Twitch shirts. It's gotta be the Twitch shirts. I don't make this. Oh. Oh! Shit. Sorry, Jill. Last night you were playing Survivor? And you cooked an alien? Oh, let's go! I don't mind going against Alien. So sad you didn't record it because you're the first one I thought about, like, oh my god, Em would love to see this. I would have loved to see this. Do you not have clipping on? I do NVIDIA clips. It doesn't always work, but I can like record. Like if something cool was to happen now, I go and press the key on my. Yeah, we need to go. And it records back 5 minutes. I just died. Is that cool? No, we already have 5 perks. Like, what the fuck? Oh, shit, Jill. Alright, I'll pick you guys up with Wiglif after. God. Whoa, my skirts! Nobody look! Bro, did y'all see that? Yeah, that hook's gone, bro. Bro, can I heal? I'm tier 17. I can't! I can't pick you! Nah, Seely, you can't look! That's not right! Good luck in tier 3. Fuck, Jill! I forgot about tier 3, yo. You gotta get that. Look into it. Is it a program or something? Or is it a computer? I don't know how I'm gonna solve this, honestly. Okay, well we solved one. Behind! Hop! Yeah, GG's. Okay, now I got you. Fucking hell. That goes up again. Oh my god, you guys. Oh my god. Well, GG. Fogbite, welcome in. How are you? Happy Monday. It's Nvidia. It's kind of, you can do filters on it. I don't know. I think it depends on what PC you have. For me, it came with my PC. Don't dress like that in public. It wasn't my fault. You have Nvidia, but this is your first PC, so I don't know what I'm doing. So, if you press something like, I think it's Control Z for the menu or something? And then you just have to look at the, I'm not getting anti-camp if you're standing there. Oh my god, he flopped it. I deserve this! Damn. Yes, we are a bully squad officially, Hub. Holy hell. I would cry if it was this dog. Yeah, Sonny, he's gonna win this game. Like, what you have to remember here is we're not on gens. Ah, die. That's sad. So, you win this game. You have to be patient. You just keep pushing. You get your hooks in. Your people are gonna die. They're not on gens. You win the game. You have to remember. If it's an actual bully squad, just push through. Because they're not playing to get out. They're playing to like get their perk value. So you just keep at it. You win the game. 4K. Yeah, you missed. My god, I was on the last second of that unhook, by the way. You have Solidarity, so stealthy when hitting you guys. Ah, nice. Solidarity is very, very good perk. To be honest, I'm doing this only because I have a tome challenge. Playing is actually to take 3 protection hit with Medal of Man and Escape. Hey, I'm not judging. That's really good to do a challenge. And there's also, I don't think there's anything wrong with being a Sabo breakout player. It's good. I love doing Sabos myself. That's how I win my games. I look how many flashbangs are in the lobby, right? How did you make that, Jill? You're speed hacking, aren't you? Nah, he's hacking, guys. Jill's on a roll today. I don't know, Sunny, because we're not out of the game yet. He's waiting out the dead hard. Aren't you tier 3? Thank you. I suck at 7, but you're still trying. You're doing well, Hub. I think you're doing well. I think you're doing great. Oh, I forgot, Sonny. This is one of your mains. I think the build is, I think it's Oppression, Merciless Storm, Huntress Lullaby, Undying. That's what I think. You get down with your Sebo attempt. It's, it has to do with the distance, Hub. It has to do with the time, the amount of time you have. Before the killer gets to you. You need more time. You need to go earlier or guess. Those 2 totem pops at the start was rough. Yeah. And then teams were flying, but it was Undying, yeah. And then we started having fun. Merciless Storm, Undying, Huntress Lullaby, and Oppression. That was it. GG's. 40 perfect game for them. 40,000 points. With 3 cakes from us and a bound envelope, they are eating good tonight. Nobody feels sorry for this killer. They're eating good tonight. Don't worry about it. You did! You found them so quickly! How I found both with X at the start? Yes, you're a hex magnet. I was like, whoa, that's Mr. Fox again. Like, what perk are they running? It wasn't a perk. It's just like... inner sense. Ah, that's a good shout, Jill. That's a good shout. Listen, I may be a returning player, but I know the default doctor build. It still is, Mr. Fox. That hasn't changed. Most docs still go for the skill check build, I find. What's your favorite build on doc, Sunny? What do you like to run? Oh, you don't have to spend BP on him, but then, ooh. Maybe charges? Do you not have the brown scraps? For extra charges? I didn't see what your other add-on was. Maybe you already have that on. Yeah, I understand. You're getting your protection hits in, though. That's pretty pog. Mike, by the way, do you understand why I'm playing well today? Right? No. I mean, you're exceptionally well today. You always play well, and I love gaming with you. Ah, Yun Jin. It's the power of the first P100, bro. That's it. It's just better. Jen, so you're learning all the regression perks? Okay. It's always like that. It's the power of the first P100. You have 30% faster Sebo and 12 extra charges. Okay, that's perfect. Nah, they're just better on Yun Jin. They're too strong. Do 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 do. Hi Corvus, welcome in. What's Krasu? I don't want to talk about Krasu, Mr. Fox. It was a nightmare and a half, and now nobody's playing her because she got nerfed to the ground. She's a tie killer. We're actually getting Krasu. Oh my god, no, everybody abandon ship. Yeah. So what's gonna happen is she's gonna infect you with the balls that she's spitting. Then she's gonna M1 you. Then she's gonna change shape to the wig. And then she's gonna down you as the wig. That's what's gonna happen. Hi Brendan, welcome in. How are you? Happy Monday. Hope your games have been great today. They have. Thank you so much. Welcome in. Words. Welcome. It's a pleasure to have you. Happy Monday. I am great. Thank you, Brandon. How was your weekend? We were on the Women's World Cup yesterday with Team Netherlands. And it was such a great experience. I was so happy to get a chance to play and with my fellow Dutch friends. It was huge. We're not advancing to the next round, but it was such a good experience. I'm really happy that I get another opportunity with the FEM World Cup for Ultrasim League in 3 weeks to play again. Nice, it sounds lovely. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Weekend was lovely. Wonderful. I'm glad to hear. Corvus, how are you? How was your weekend? What are you up to today? There we go. It's the infecting into the M1, changing to the wig. Oh shit! You can't do that. She's upset. What does that do? You were already infected. You're doing okay? You just made chicken nuggets? I don't have it. I don't have it. I don't have it. Wait, last stand doesn't look. No, get me out of chase. Get me out of chase. No! Now I have it. I'm sick. Toxic. Oh my god, the instant hook. You doing okay? You made chicken nuggets? Like, did you warm up chicken nuggets? Or did you make chicken nuggets? Because those are... Fuck this bitch. Those are two different things. I don't remember how to play against this. This is miserable. I just die, right? That's the idea. Jill knows how to play. Jill remembers how to play against this. Oh! Damn. I was doubting whether I would make it to this pallet or to go back to the window, but it fucked me up, my guys. It fucked me up. You fried some, making him sound hard. Okay, okay. Sorry. I didn't mean to expose you. I was just wondering. MFT. Oh. I guess I never realized she gets me here. I never realized that that's how she vault. That was kind of sexy. Oh no, Hub. I love the chaos, guys. I love it. I really do. It was a sexy leg. Did you see it, Seely? I saw it. My mainer for that reason alone. You can't be a cross Sue main and then be friends with me, Seely. I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to draw a line. See survivors, see my leg. Stick to Mina. Mina's fine. What we doing? My brain, let me show you my sexy leg. Wait, what? She has very sexy legs, this killer, okay? Oh, I'm sorry. You wanted your second wind. I get it now. Are we... I don't know what we're doing. Are we doing something? Anything? This is a wall. Am I healing you or no? Maybe not. Okay, I'll go help Hop. You get Jill. Hop, die window! Holy hell, distance. I get this, hold on. She's nervous! Why? Not all TTVs are toxic. What? What? Oh shit, I die. I'm one. Unlucky. Dead arts! She's waiting it out. She's waiting it out, guys. My dead art. Fuck this totem challenge? Oh my god, my skirt was off again! This stuff needs to be solved. I don't know why the last stand save didn't hit. Can you not hit? You looked again, Seely? It's not nice. Was she, can I not stun her when she's in wake form? I don't know, was I late? Was I early? I don't know. Nice, good Sabo. I have no idea what she's got perk-wise, pain res. I knew it was coming. I don't know why I'm doing gens. We're not making it out of this game. Like... Do you know, Hub, you have to take protection hits, right? Do you know what's the easiest way to take a protection hit? Is to, get hit by the killer while they're carrying a survivor. I think that's the easiest way to take a protection hit. Trash at Seba, I'm not gonna force myself and get mad. No, Hub! Don't! Like, either change builds or just, you know, you're trying. Well, what's the exact challenge? It says play as Ashley? Oh, CJ? I try again. Why is it not working? I'm just trash, aren't I? To be honest. Where am I going? Nowhere to hide? Really? Okay, maybe running back into her wasn't the way to go. I'm thinking about the Sabo build. I'm thinking about it, Jill. Okay, I want to show you gamers a clip from my tournament yesterday. I felt really out of my element there. This killer is something else, Mr. Fox. Like, it's the gameplay is the same thing always and forever. They infect you, M1. They down you with the wig. Nah, it's just. It's just miserable. Yeah, it was nowhere to hide. GG easy. They're mad. Okay. I'm gonna show you this clip, guys. We're gonna run a quick ad. We're gonna run it now so you don't have to miss anything for the next game. Please bear with. I apologize for the ads. We'll be right back. I'm gonna show you a clip from yesterday. My my last chase of the tournament. I was really proud of myself. Where did I put it? Okay, let's see if I can make this work. Okay, here we go. So I have two teammates on hook. And the Huntress was camping the hooks on the main side of the building. So I had to try and get around, but I got spotted. But then I have a really juicy chase. Look.
We're not getting spotted here. Looks like we are going to go a little bit closer to this edge map side here. Are we going to just commit to sending it across, or are we going to play a little bit safer? It looks like we're going to start walking now, crossing that line. But Wicca knows Hatchet flying over the ears of Envy. And we are going to be entering to this chase here. Both drivers on hook. Envy, can we make it? We have the life to our disposal here. Not going to be quite committing to it over that window. Instead, dodging that hatchet, going for a risky hatchet through that window now. Can we make it to the unhooks? No, we don't. Instead, going to be zoned deeper into this corner here. We have the building though. This
I got stuck on the locker there.
a lot of
That's
walls
what
to block
clocked
those
me.
hatches that I don't know how many more we have left behind us here.
That was
But
so
one is gonna be
annoying.
connecting. I think we might only have one or two more. One missing there. Envy coming up to their final moments, possibly another dodge, as this is our final hatchet now, but we do not need it, Julia. It's an old-fashioned M1 will be enough, and that'll be all
The
survivors.
commentators are so good.
Yeah, an excellent chase from Yuichi to end the game. but
Excellent
yes,
chase
it
from
was
Yuichi
before
to end the
he-
game. That was me. Fuck that locker, right? Fuck, right? Like, who put that locker there? I'm gonna be suing someone over that. So I was very proud with that last chase. I'm sad about the locker. It happens often to me, I have to say, where I run too far, sort of. Yeah, that's frustrating, but it was a good chase. I knew I was going to be safe behind the barrels with them trying to I'll go bond. No, I don't need it. What's better, Wiglif? With the barrels and everything, I was juicing. This game, you all turn to juice? I'm ready. I got my Sabo on. I would be so stressed if this announcer would be in my ears while playing. They're not. They're not, Corvus. This is from the VOD of the broadcaster side. So we're on the player side, and we're just in the voice chat with our team. And then this is the live. Yeah, yeah. I wasn't like live listening in or hearing what the broadcasters were saying. I get so impressed with people that are good at like broadcasting those things because it's such a quality I find to be able to just talk and fill hours and hours of commentating on gameplay like that. Like Vocus is really good at it. He's really good at it and he knows his shit. There's one thing, there's a difference between talking about what you see and what you know and about broadcasting what the game is about. So if I was to broadcast, I would be, okay, so the perk we see here is deadlock. Deadlock blocks the gen for 30 seconds, a pinhead perk, you know? It would be like boring as fuck. But the ability to go between, oh, and there we see the purple add-on for the raid. But bro, we're bringing Sabo and they counter us on the twins. They're not gonna be picking. They just countered us so hard. Okay, I need to find a rock where I can loop Victor. This rock is too long. This is too long. This is too long. Maybe this. No, this is also too long. I need to find a good rock. Yeah, sorry, I was talking about broadcasting and the ability to combine weave, Franklin's weave. No, they hurt us. They're just like, no Sabos for you. We're going twins, we're slugging, and we're bringing. Oh my god! And we're bringing weave. Oh, we're so dead. GG, well played. Yes! Jill knows. Stun. Nah, Jill's locked in. You can't beat this man when he's locked in. Sorry, I'm going... again, about the broadcasting. The ability to combine... Talking about... like technical game details, like perks and stuff, and to combine that with... And we're seeing an amazing play here from the killer. The survivor had no idea they were doubling back, blah blah. And Focus is really good at that. And the survivors... Oh. That was another Didact stack. I thought we were finished, sorry. Yeah, I'm very jealous of people that are able to do that. He knows what to explain and how to react. Exactly, Jill. You don't watch CS:GO, but those guys can talk. Yeah, it's a skill. That's why there are two. The ability to go like between the two, the dynamic. I don't think they know about weave, guys. Oh, we pick? Fuck. Yeah, they know everything. They know about the Wiglif. They know about the Sabo. They knew everything. Hi, Beach. Welcome in. How are you? I mean, it's happening. It's game over, Joe. Like, it's GG's. I don't know. We could just run around. Not today, Satan. You saw that in your For the Peoples? I don't make that. That sucks. No, I'm winning my 1v1 with Victor here. Hold on. Ah, fuck. I was about to pick up Geo. That's funny. You're alright? Wonderful. I'm glad. How are you? I'm good. I'm miserable in this game, but other than that... I can't go anywhere. Fuck! Wrong person! Pile up! Pile up! Not picking Victor. Yeah, it was a cluster of many things. Twins gotta be Piggy? Nah, Piggy don't play like this. Jess and Dirty Daddy Doggo treat. Thank you for the 10 treats. Yeah, we were all kind of just there blocked in. That was unlucky. Oh, we can leave. Perfect. GG. Okay, we go again. Gollum, please! Sweet, you're getting money back on your taxes? Hey, yo, Corvus, let's go. Don't spend it all in one place. Were they trying to drop the pallet though? That's the second time. Or were you trying to heal? I was trying to get Jill. And then I was healing Hub because of the pile of people. It was risky though. Like, why would you go behind the killer to go for a Wiggly pickup? It could have been so beautiful though. Like, I would have loved to get that Wiggly pickup. Why wouldn't anyone heal? Yeah. It was fine. We try again. It wasn't going to never get it pushing. It pushes them to the killer side. Nostromo. Another doctor. I never see doctor. And now we got two? Is it the same one? Look at this hex. No, it's Thrill of the Hunt. They got annoyed that we found their totem so quickly last time. They changed Undying to Thrill. Wanna bet it's the same? Loftus would have loved this. I know. Where is this man at? Don't come here. Yeah, I got fucked. Here's the other one. Try again. I don't care. 2 X's, maybe more. If we don't find Thrill and his Pentimento, we're gonna be cleansing hexes fucking the entire rest of the day. Don't come here, please! Okay, I got one. Hey, yo, Slay! Thank you so much for the raids. I appreciate you. Welcome in. How was the rest
Slay
of your
X
games?
Queen X rated your channel with 51
Congratulations
viewers.
again on your games yesterday. Gamers, if you don't know, Slay was on Team Germany in the Women's World Cup. They are through to the next round in the semifinals next week against Team USA. Hi, Rashira. Welcome in. Slay, I understand if you need to raid and run, but I appreciate you taking your community here. If you came in with the raid with Slay Gamers and you don't know who I am, my name is MVP. The M stands for Micah. I'm primarily Dead by Daylight content creator. I'm in the creator program. I'm from the Netherlands. I'm a survivor main. I have 18 P100s. I love playing Dead by Daylight. And when I'm not playing DBD, you can find me cat sitting, dog sitting. I work at a horse's stables. Welcome in. Hi, not meme. Welcome in. Where am I going, by the way? Oh, nowhere. What is this tile? Hello? Hello? Oh, locker. Fuck me. That's the second time. I got clocked by a locker. Lovely person detected? Nah, unlucky, unlucky. You doing picks and bans tonight, Slave, for your next round? I hear you're pretty pleased with the killer pool. Go eat, lovely, take care. I leave you love and dark. Thank you, Slay. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate it. Tonight, wonderful. I hope it's gonna be good sets for you, but I already know you're gonna give them hell. I'll be watching. Oh, Haunted Grounds? It's a completely different build. It must be a different rocker. Hi, Vitor. Welcome in. How was Pocopia? I hope you had fun games. You're gonna learn for a bit, but I hope keep having a lovely stream. Thank you, Vitor. Thank you. I appreciate you stopping by. Gamers? I died? Thank you for the lurk, Vitor. You still playing Phocopia? This game has me on a chokehold. It's such a good game, though. Enjoy, enjoy. I can't help you, gamer.
Shout out to Slay X Queen X.
I know, Jill, I know. It's teamwork, innit? It's teamwork, innit? A person that's in chase can't go for a save. Yeah, gamers, if you don't follow Slay, please go check her out. I met her during the time trials tourney. She's cracked at the game. She plays both sides. She's a wonderful person. Such a sweetheart. It's been such a pleasure getting to know them. And like I said, they are playing the next round of the Women's World Cup the coming weekend with her Team Germany. They're gonna just hook mid, right? Yeah. Oh. Oh my god, I was just out of range for that. Women's, the Women's World Cup, Jess, for women and femme DBD players. Yeah, it's very cool. I played for Team Netherlands yesterday. We were against UK and Finland. We ended up in second place. We won our games from UK. Oh, thank you, I guess. And we lost to Finland. We got second place. But it was such a great experience, and some crack gamers out there. Very cool, very cool. Toxic. I die for that, probably. I probably die for that. Hello. Bro, I took that so wide because I was scared of hitting that locker again. Oh. I don't know why, but I didn't drop the I didn't end up dropping the pellet, but it worked out. I have no eyes. Am I even still in chase? I could still be in chase. I'm just missing. I could still be in chase, technically. I have no idea where they are. Oh! Oh! GG's. Alright, I'm gonna go grab a snack. And I'll be right back.
Hold up. Wait a minute. Something ain't right.
I'm here, Taze. I'm here. Thank you so much for the raid on Saturday. I really appreciate it. I'm sorry I couldn't ask you about your stream. It's a little, getting used to, like, if it's in-game versus, you know, the just chatting. But I hope it was a good one. I saw you weren't on DBD. It's fine, you was busy, I knew that. But I really appreciate it. Nah, Jill gets out here. Juicer. GG's. It's not the same dog. It was complete totem build, Undying Thrill, Haunted Ground Devour. Okay, I'm shit at Breakout. Just finishing up at the gym. Sat in the massage chair waiting for your friend. Oh, nice! That must have been comfy. I don't know, maybe Bond? I like Bond. I don't want any more mishaps with my skirt, guys. What else can we wear? Oh my god, you lost 33.2 kilograms? That's huge, Taze. I'm glad we're still with the progress, but most of all, your ability to adapt, to allow to live, yeah, a healthier lifestyle, combining the exercise with the changes in diet. That's huge, Taze. That's huge. Well done. Shit, didn't you just say breakout save me? Yeah, the problem is I panicked though, Jill. I mean, the double sabo would have been enough, but the thing with breakout is I panicked because I saw him going to the next hook, and I don't know how far the wiggle is, and I used all my charges to sabo another hook when you were already getting the wiggle. And I sometimes I don't get close enough. I'm good at the sabo, I'm not necessarily good at the breakout. You want a massage chair? Me too, Jess. Hi, Drummer Witch. Happy Monday. Welcome in. Enjoy your daily doggo treats. Thank you for the 34 treats. You've lost 8 and it's been rough, Jess. That's huge as well. Well done. Keep at it. Hello, friend. You have to work today, but you're lurking. Are you on the Uber today, Drummer Witch? I mean, I don't like the pink shoes with the fit, but I guess the jeans are alright. Oh, this map? Spirit. Okay. I won't be getting my last stand because with all the phasing. Is she chasing you? She is. Alright. Yeah, the booty is good, isn't it, Jess? Jane needs to lose exactly 0 kilos. Exactly 0 with this booty. She looked fine. You had to lose? I had a lot to lose, so it was easier. I mean, your commitment to the and the work that you're putting in, Taze, is amazing. It's not easy at all. That's really, really well done. No pain rest, no pain rest. No skirt chokes even at all. Nice, good dodge, good dodge. Real men love curves. Respecting the curves is good. Respecting the curves is good. Thick thighs and a nice ass. Nice. There's nothing wrong with that. The one time I played Jane and got fat shamed in a pregame chat. Really? I've never in my life laughed so hard. People. Alright, we've got 2 gens done upstairs. That's excellent. Hex Undying. I don't think she'll go here. Damn. Okay, I go for the unhook. She She... Oh my god, she went for this one? Oh, fuck this spirit, bro. Well, I'm trading it now. I'm not trading nothing. Bro, how is she so fast? Me, why do I see red gens? Also me, bro. Deja vu! Oh, Undying's next to the hook. Pink Hub was on a... Sorry, I don't know, Joe. I don't know. She's just better. See? I heard that whiff. I joined and you're on the floor, and now that I've said this, I'm gonna get banned. I was thinking about it. Hi Sketch, welcome in, how are you? Jill with the MFT dead on. You're not doing bad, are you? I'm good, I'm good. Oh, okay. Where was the totem? Did anybody have any idea of another totem? Pentimento? No, that wasn't Devour. Nah, we're cooked. Yeah, Jane looks great with the Twitch shirt. This is a Penti. This is not what I want to cleanse. I want the Devour, but maybe, oh shit, maybe Jill found it. Mori! Fuck, I was gonna Sabo. Did you cook the team again? Nah, we got cooked, man. We did 3 gens, though. Was that a DS play? I don't make this! And now I just die, because Devour Hope is still up. She got confused! I guess she got confused! I'd rather bake than cook. Interesting match considering I brought counter force. Oh shit! Nah, you're making a good call here, Mr. Fox, because this is our 4th game with hexes. 2 doctor games. I have 9,000 points, guys. Like, what? Did I even do anything? Did I even do anything that game? She does have two heads. No wonder she gets confused. Okay, counterforce. We could be onto something. How's you? Busy day? Yeah, work is crazy right now. And I'm so stressed about that project we talked about last week. I mean, I fixed a lot of it Thursday and Friday, but today there was more stuff. And I'm super busy again tomorrow, but it's like, it's gonna be good, a good day tomorrow. I'm gonna make a lot of progress again. When's it due? It's next week, Wednesday. Have you noticed the new thing that came in this update? Apparently they're called generators. I've yet to try and interact with them. Nah, are you shaming me for my 9,000 points that last game? I'm not gonna allow it, Sealy. Generator. Generator. It beat your 7k. Oh shit. How did you have 7k points? Like the fuck? You get it done. I mean, there's no other way, Sketch. The event is next week. It's happening. Hold on, my husband's here. He'll never know, guys. Wait, did Hop get pushed off of a totem? Or were they cleansing dolls? Just to be sure. Getting tunneled gives me more points. Yeah, than my 9k. In a few days, no more of the low point. Yeah, I know. In 2 weeks it'll be over. I just gotta sit this one through. I just gotta take the L. And then it's over. And then then I'm working with the fun. Then I'm only working with the fun team again. I'm going away a weekend with my mom for her birthday. Blood Moon, Blood Rush. Blood Moon is coming. I keep saying Blood Rush. Yeah, it's just 2 more weeks of misery. Points? Did you want to spare some points, right? There's no Scourges. Only if solo queue warriors is touching gens. Well, they're gonna take. Yeah, okay. I'll take small points. Yeah, we'll take any points. That's grim. Okay, he doesn't care about this gen. That's fine. It's Kenneth. Stream Wednesday. I'm not streaming tomorrow. I have to go to the office and I have to go to an event location for an event that's happening at the end of May. So, yeah, it should be Wednesday. He looks like he's gonna tunnel? Oh. How did the rest of the journey end up going? I mean, when we spoke, it was the last... our games were over. Dodging bullets over here. Oh, damn, he was closer than I thought. Oh, I'm cooked. I'm just cooked. Yeah. Not yet, though. Oh, the distance. Okay, GG's. I was cooking, clown. I was cooking. Wait, you only had that one? No, we had two. Oh, didn't we speak about after my Finland game? Yeah, we lost to Finland. They were better. I think overall, out of the pool, they had they were the most balanced. They had the strongest survivor and killer team. Oh, only okay. Yeah, okay. Their nurse game wasn't as rough as I expected, but we didn't put forward a good nurse game. We had 2 hooks, so it was an easy win con for them. Maybe they weren't sweating. I was expecting a hell of a game on the nurse, but it was okay. We almost got 1 man out. Oh! Sorry, Jill. I did not mean to get mixed up in your chase. Hi, pretty. Welcome in. How are you? You're so patient. He left the building. Cloud. Uh-oh. He's just leaving again. Oh, I hope you have a pellet. Take it! Yes! I don't know if it was intentional, but it worked out. Hi, pretty. Welcome in. I'm good, thanks. How are you? Pretty, enjoy your daily doggo treat. Thank you for the 51 treats. Damn, well, GG's. Yes, GG's, W team. How's your games been? Good. We're having a lot of fun. We're dying a lot. But it's because we're just playing. I'm doing the Sabo. Yeah, if you pull me, we Sabo. Unlucky. Fuck. Yeah, GG's, man. This clown, yo. It's very jukeable. Having fun is more important? Yes. It is. How is your Monday going, pretty? shit, this is the hook in the room, isn't it? No! Oh! Mori? Greedy? What's he doing? There was like 2 hooks there. Well, I'm sad now. Now I'm just sad. That was nice. Sketch enjoy daily doggo treats. Oh, thank you for the 21 treats. Fuck. Lucky, welcome in. Happy Monday. Thank you for the daily treats. Enjoy your 20. No, the other way around. Thank you for the 20. Enjoy your daily doggo treats. He's a gentleman, leaving you alone in the washroom. Okay, that's fair. Let's go. He just hooks there, right? No. I don't know how you got distance, but I didn't get any. He sped up in loops without bottles. Oh. Oh shit, Hub! I was contemplating going for the save gamer. Yeah, I know, Mr. Fox. He had to be either camping or on you. Those were the only options. Ah, batteries, Jill. That's why he was speeding up. Completed generators on Midwich? Nah, that goes hard. Okay, I've got time for 2 more gamers. If you want. You were thinking machine learning, but it makes sense. Yeah, I don't remember seeing him, like, obsessively kicking gens, but there was definitely some speed involved. I'm gonna go get some food, enjoy my yes. Is this a skull merchant of some sort? Or an Unreal? There's no way we're on the spices again. Oh. Just wait it out. Unreal. Unlucky. That was just the end of the, We can't Saba with a fucking tape in our hand, bro. Now we're getting countered left and right. First we get a twins, that slugs. Now we've got an Unreal. There's more hexes. Because we've got Huntress Lullaby as well. What's with all the hex? Oh, fuck my life. What's with all the hex builds today? The hex is where you got downed? Okay. That's the last perk, I think. Oh, second haunted. So Undying, Huntress Lullaby. Haunted Grounds. And no, I already said Huntress Lullaby. I don't know. Oh. Fuck, Shaq's gone. How am I getting a stack? Where are the gens? Here's a gen. Is she just camping that totem? Where is that totem? Shit, did you want the MFT? No, you're not injured. Alright, so now she's perkless. Maybe it was Devour. Oh, Hop needs to do a tape real quick. This is one of those games, as killer, where the game just slowly gets away from you. Damn, she's hooking 11. She camps this? Sounds like it. Alright, we go for the safe. Gates are ready. Oh, Hop to chase. Now she's camping. Let's go. Basement's this way. Does Hop just get it for free? Oh. Well. Errors were made. And Hop saves the day. Dead arts! Good chase, Jill. Good chase. I don't know why that unhook was free. Alright, we're gonna run a quick ad break. We're gonna now run it now before we go into the next game, so you don't have to miss anything. We'll be right back. I apologize for the ads. Please bear with. God, the names that people come up with. Alright, I'm off the Sebo. Unlucky with no TV close to the door? Yeah. Four X build against 2 people with counterforce. I know! That was unlucky, if anything. Guess I'll play some Kaneki later. Yes, you should. Keep up the good work. You know what's the hardest part for me in his kit so far? The first hit after a swing in power. Ah, really? That's interesting. Yeah, you use power to swing close. Oh. And then flick. As you do. Trickster, by the way. Don't have... Oh my god, I got... That was very close. That was very close. Okay. Yeah, the one that's free... Oh. Well, hops out. Thanks for the games, Hub. I think I should have stayed at that pellets. Honestly. Oh. What are we trying to... Oh, shit. Well, I sent back Jill and all that. That's not good. I don't think I want to do this gen against the Trickster, I'm not gonna lie. Shit, there's no pellets here. Yeah, errors were made. I don't know what I'm gonna loop. Yeah, I should just... Yeah, GG. Okay, I go gate. I don't know. Nice, GG. You're super trasher for the ruined game. Hope you will have fun and enjoy gaming without me. Hub! Don't be so hard on yourself. I love gaming with you. Like, don't stress, okay? You're always welcome to play. It's really no bother. I don't think you're trash. You're absolutely fine. I understand the frustration. When it's too much, it's too much. DBD can be rough. You did so much gen work. You did so much gen work on that clown game, Hub. Without you, me and Mr. Fox wouldn't have had the chance to escape the way we had it. I'm telling you. That's agitation. I think? I don't know. Yeah, I really don't want to do this gen. Famous DMS? Okay. Oh, fuck. Jill just said Painless DMS. There's a gen underneath here. No, there's a gen on the other side of this wall. There's gen. I don't want to do this gen. There's gens with progress. I hear them. There we go. Here it is. Maybe we focus on the gens that have progress and not on the gens that don't have progress. You do keep getting chased off of the gens. But like, we have a lot of different gens with progress though, that's good. Mine got Painless DMS, but it has progress. She needs to go for the gen. She is going for the gen. Oh, there's a gen up here. I'm on the wrong floor. I was on the wrong floor. Maybe it's Monitor. There's something about her terror radius that... Oh. Imagine. How cool would that have been? Catch you later, lady. Oh, she'll catch me now, actually. It's gonna eventually be a problem. Like, now is the problem. Blight Adept done. Let's go. Hi, Clove. How was your stream? Cute shirt. Thank you. Thank you. I was telling Chad about our games last night. I didn't mention that we are probably the best Twitch shirt EU gamers in the world. But you and me, we know, right? We know. How was your stream? I was so happy to see that you went to press live. It sounded like you were having fun with your team. I'm so dead, by the way. Oh! There's no way. Oh! I was kind of going for the beam safe. That was a mistake. We actually are. Yes. It was a fun stream. Now I have to go for some scrims. Oh, okay, good. They're downstairs, I think. That was loud, like she was here. Stacks? Have good scrims, Clove. I hope it's gonna be fun. You deserve some fun games. I appreciate you stopping by. No heals? Okay. I don't know. I feel like there was a gen that was like 99. You hold her! Clip it! You got your Blight Adept on Hawkins. Now it's time for Balloomba. Easy. Easy 4K. Have night mages. Thank you, Clove. Gamers, if you don't follow Clove, please go check her out. She's on the Spanish team. She was that last weekend for the World Cup, the Women's World Cup. Thank you, Clove. Thank you for the lurk. Absolutely cracked gamer. Sweetheart. I'm so honored to have met her through the DBD Creator Program. And we are planning some duos during the Blood Moon. Oh, shit. You've gotten some of the worst teammates on Rivals. Worse than our games yesterday morning, though? Like, be honest. Oh! Okay, I can respect the effort on the ricochet blades. Again? No, she knows everything. Nah, they're just better, guys. They're just better. You were the only one with a KO. Oh my god, Glenny. How do you play this game? Nice, slap that ass. Oh. GG's. Dead arts. I saw it coming. Jill, That was funny. How does he do it, guys? This gen is dead. Jill! No! Thank you for the save, Jill. That was huge. That was a nice wiggle. When you play Venom, I literally have to stand in front of a Jeff for heals. A Jeff that's playing DPS, and you have to stand there to get healed. It's like to be like, hey, can you heal me for a second? Ain't no way. She's just better. She's just better. I know, when you don't have breakouts, you save people off the shoulder. That's it. Hatch time. Slightly up left. Walk to the left or right. I get no heals. So you have to turn around. Make sure I'm directly in front. Nah, that's some W healer. W healing games. GG, no hatch? Oh. Oh. Mori? Maybe. She expected to be faster and hit me. Do it! We want to see that Mina Mori. It's just too good. It's just too good. GG's! Alright, gamers, we're gonna raid out. Thank you so much for everyone for playing. It was agitation. GG's. Jill, thank you for the games. Hub, thank you for the games. Mr. Fox, it's so good to have you back. Thank you for coming back to the fog and gaming with us. I hope it was a good time for you as well. Welcome back to DBD. Guys, we're gonna go raid Heather. Because we played them yesterday, right? In the tournament. So we're gonna go show some love. Wow, the difference from Look you 100%. 100%. It's 3 hours already? I know. It flew by. I was gonna end at 6. I was gonna end 2 games ago and I was like, wait, it's 6 already? I'm gonna do 2 more. Fuck it. Fuck it! Alright, let's go and say hi to Heather. We faced them yesterday in the Women's World Cup. Is it the right raid message? Yes. Please copy this raid message and show her some love. Drop a follow if you don't already. She just got partnered last year. She is in a crack game where she plays both sides. She's on Team Pandemonium. She's getting into comp. She played for the UK women's team in the Women's Cup. I had the pleasure of meeting her at TwitchCon Rotterdam last year. Wonderful person. Let's go say hi. Gamers, thanks everyone for hanging out. Thanks everyone for the stream streaks. Thank you for the follows. Slay, thank you for the raid. Thanks everyone for the daily doggo treats. And thanks everyone for the games, for chilling, chatting, lurking. It's been an absolute pleasure. I'm back Wednesday, normal time, 2 p.m. You know, Wednesday afternoon stream. And we're doing duos with the wonderful Deviant N, who was in my team for the Team Netherlands on the Women's World Cup. So take care, have an amazing rest of your day, and I hope to see you all on Wednesday. Bye guys!
you can't